So I'm going to begin with talking about our ELA curriculum. We have 5 reading units that we cover throughout the year. We begin with evidence and inference, move to main idea, theme, point of view, and then we end the year with poetry and figurative language. So our daily reading block will include whole group and or small group instruction. There will be differentiated instruction and assignments for reading groups and ELD groups. And then there will be asynchronous, synchronous, and independent assignments embedded within the reading block. The resources we use are the Wonders McGraw-Hill textbooks. There are 2, a big reading book and a little reading book that you received in your supplies from the school. You can also access these 2 books online on Clever. And then we also use a variety of core literature books, and these books vary from class to class. And then lastly, we use MobyMax as a resource to reinforce skills that we've taught and so that students can get more practice.
This is Mr. York, and I will be presenting the writing curriculum. There are 4 types of text that we will be writing this year. The first is a response to text. We will read articles in class, both fiction and nonfiction, and we will write responses using the RACE strategy. We will support our ideas with text evidence. The next type of text we will work on writing are narratives. In the narrative, the writers will establish a narrator, one who's telling the story, developing characters with specific details, and being sure to organize their events sequentially. The third type of text the students will write is informative. Students will write paragraphs with a topic conclusion sentence and develop the topic with details from source materials. Again, they will be using reading materials and videos that are presented in class. And finally, students will work on opinion writing. In opinion writing, they will form a clear opinion based on reading material. They will support the opinion with evidence, and they will work on grouping related ideas together in cohesive paragraphs. Again, they will work on writing topic and conclusion sentences. Students will use a variety of texts to support their writing. Like I said, fiction and nonfiction. They will use graphic organizers to help them organize their writing. And they will use examples of writing called anchor papers to improve their style and their grammatical skills. In addition to these 4 writing types, we will continue to focus on written conventions, skills such as correct use of capitalization, punctuation, and correct spelling. And it's very important that you know that the writing skills will be incorporated across the curriculum, meaning we will write in science, social studies, math, all the subject areas.
We have 5 math units, which will each take about 6 to 8 weeks. We will start off with place value, which includes addition and subtraction with whole numbers. We will move on to whole number multiplication, whole number division, fractions and decimals, and we will finish the year with measurement, data, and geometry. We will use a variety of resources in fourth grade. Pearson Math is our district adopted math program, which we will use almost every day. The students will also go to websites such as Reflex Math and Moby Max. These both help the students to practice their math fluency and various math skills. So they will find all three of these links on Clever. They will also watch some videos to either teach or reinforce what they have learned, such as YouTube, Math Antics, LearnZillion, and Khan Academy. They will practice independently and sometimes asynchronously with Pearson math problems, either from the book or the workbook. They may see math menus, task cards, performance tasks. They may complete projects or seesaw activities and play some math games. A typical math schedule would start with a Google Meet with the teacher, where the teacher would teach a Pearson lesson to the whole class or even small groups. Students may watch a asynchronous video or go to a website to either learn the concept or reinforce the concept, and then they would work independently with problems from the book or another activity to practice the skill.
Fourth grade science. Next Generation Science Standards, known as NGSS. There are 4 units of study in 3 domains. We will be using mystery science units to cover the 3 domains. We will begin with Unit 1, Birth of Rocks. This unit covers Earth-space science. Unit 2, Energizing Everything, will address physical science. Unit 3, Waves of Sounds, also physical science. And Unit 4, Human Machine, life science. In addition, STEM activities on Seesaw and various forms of reading will be used to address the NGSS. Quizzes, unit tests, and projects will be graded.
Fourth grade social studies. Fourth grade is known for studying and learning about the history of the Golden State, California. We start off with the study of the unique geography of California and move to the study of explorers, Native Americans, and the mission system. We end our study with the gold rush and California's statehood. Students will incorporate their reading comprehension using informational text and writing standards. They'll teach study skills with study guides and notes that they will use for taking quizzes and tests. Students will be responsible for quizzes, unit tests, constructing study reports, and producing projects.
This is Mr. York again. I'm going to tell you about RTI and Enrichment. RTI is our program to ensure that all students meet grade level expectations. Our plan is to assess students' skill levels across a curriculum, but focusing specifically in language arts and math, determining who is performing below grade level, and providing specific instruction on those skills for that small group. Enrichment is a program to reach students who are performing at a high level and also to address the needs of our GATE students. Our plan for enrichment is to provide extension activities, challenging projects for those particular students to give them opportunity to make the most of their learning.
All right, here is our fourth grade online weekly schedule. And just keep in mind, things may change a little bit, but we are going to try to stick to this schedule, at least right now, to get the kids used to meeting at least 3 times a day in a Google Meet with their teacher and whole class. So the first thing I want you to notice are all the highlighted areas. Those are going to be all the synchronous instruction that will happen with the whole class. So at 9 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and 1 o'clock, the students will get in to their class Google Meet with the same code that they've been using. And you can see it says class meeting at 9 o'clock. The students will stay for ELA instruction, so that could include reading, writing, eventually reading groups. So students may actually get on at another time to meet with their teacher and a small reading group. Once the teacher is done with the class meeting and does instruction with reading and writing, then the students will go off and work on their own on certain assignments. So the start time is always going to be 9 o'clock. The end time will vary for that first Google Meet because it will depend on the amount of instruction that is given that day. So after the break, we will meet again at 11 o'clock for math. And again, the teacher will instruct the students in the Pearson lesson most of the time. That will be whole class, and then the students will go off and work on their own. This time may also be used for small math groups, depending on the concept that is being taught. So those groups will be determined later. After lunch, at 1 o'clock, the students will come back to their Google Meet with their whole class for either social studies or science. And following that, they will have work to do on their own. Intervention and enrichment will be coming. We will give you more information on that as the year progresses. And then at the end of the day, you can see Tuesday through Friday, we have independent work time and office hours. So the students won't have specific homework. However, they will need to make sure that they finish their work for the day, and they do have a good chunk of time at the end of the day to do that. Each teacher will have their office hours set up as a Google Meet, so the students will be able to either make an appointment or just hop onto that Google Meet in order to ask questions and get help. So if you look at all the green areas, those are special programs that the students will go to mostly on Monday with separate teachers. So we will be posting separate links for VAPA, PE, and library on Monday, and then the students will have PE at the very end of the day on Tuesday.
Grades are given in fourth grade. To receive an A student needs to receive a 90 to 100%. To earn a B, they need to produce 80 to 89%. And to receive a C, a 70 to 79%. To reach honor roll, students will need to have 3 A's and 3 B's, no C's. To earn the principal's honor roll, a student has to receive all A's. The subject areas that are involved include reading, language, writing, math, science, and social studies. Conferences will be held in early October, and report cards will be posted in January and early June.
So I'm going to share with you about our grade level expectations, things that all of us are expecting from our students within our classroom. So to begin with, we will be using Google Classroom as our learning management system. So all assignments will be posted there. There may be links to Seesaw or other programs, but Google Classroom will be our main learning management system. And so students are expected to log into Google Classroom by 8:55 each morning for their daily check-in and class meeting. So once they log in at 9, they will be on there until our reading block begins. We also expect them to follow the Google Meet expectations provided by your teacher, and you'll see in the next slide a layout of the expectations that we are expecting during those Google Meet Hangouts so that we can have a successful meet. We're also expecting the students be present during synchronous instruction. This will be the live instruction that teachers will be giving to students, and we would like if they are there. We're expecting students to complete and turn in assignments by the given time. And then we also want our fourth graders to be responsible. So that means that students need to manage their own time. So once they receive their schedule, they should set alarms for their Google Meets, times that they need to join their class again, times they go to lunch, time for recess, and things like that. They can set alarms on their iPad or phone or some type of timer to be able to manage that themselves. Students should complete assignments with little to no help from parents. Parents, we don't want you sitting there with your student every day, all day. We want to mimic as if they were in school. So if they were in school, they would only have the teachers to help them. And so we want the same thing to happen at home. So students should know that they are to reach out to their teacher or their peers to ask for help when they don't understand. All quizzes and tests should be done independently. So this is the honor system. If we don't know how they are doing with various subjects and topics, then we don't know how to better assist them and give them what they need, the type of instruction that they need. So we ask that they not receive any help during tests and quizzes. And then I've already mentioned this before, but students are responsible for asking the teacher and their peers for help. Each teacher will have office hours where students can come in and ask questions. Teachers will also be readily available during whole group instruction, where if they have a question, they can ask that question then. But we want students to take control of their learning and to be more responsible.
Ways to communicate with teachers through emails, Google Meet, or Hangouts. Some teachers may include Remind or Class Dojo. Parents can request video conferences using Google Meet or Hangouts. Please refer to the schedule for office hours. We do our best to respond to emails within 24 hours.